Hi, this is Joseph. It's Monday. It's July 20th. We're going to start off here with the Euro futures. This is the daily time frame. So today's price actually moved right up into the top level of this channel that I have with a decent amount of volume. Let me go ahead and open this up. So we've got this resistance level that started back here from the March 9th high. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And at this point, for the most part, we're still in this decent little uptrend here. I've got a 5-day moving average here sort of highlighting that trending move to the upside. I don't know if it's going to take it out. It looks like it possibly could. At one point, I need to be prepared for some kind of bearish retracement. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be a complete reversal here at this point just yet. Obviously, it could turn into that a little bit later on, but I don't have enough data right now. What I see, though, is these a shortening of these up thrusts. So as price is moving and pushing through new highs, today's Monday actually didn't really go too far. I mean, there was a lot of volume here, so there was a lot of activity, a lot of effort, but very little reward is one way to look at it. And again, with the shortening of these up thrusts, it seems like it might be finding an area of resistance, at least technically. Again, I don't have confirmation that it's an opportunity to immediately start trying to sell it just yet, but I'm going to watch for that. Obviously, I'm going to be looking for trades to set up during the London and the New York session for Tuesday to try to trade this. Whether it ends up taking out the highs and it pushes through the resistance, that resistance level from March 9th, that's a possibility. Again, if it reverses here, then I'm going to be looking for signs of some kind of a reversal. I'll be watching the 4-hour and the 2-hour, of course, but trying to pinpoint my entry on a 30-minute or 1-hour time frame on Tuesday. So let's take a quick look at the Japanese yen futures. If you look at even currency strength meters and things like that, you can clearly see which ones tend to be, which particular currency tends to be stronger or weaker than the others, or overall. Once again, the yen was a pretty weak pair. So was the a couple others, that we trade. I'm not going to go down the list, but so I trade a total of 8 different currency pairs, and yen crosses, I generally stay away from them if I see this kind of behavior. There's just not enough volume. I'm sorry if I'm cutting off the volume level, the volume clip down here at the bottom. But you can see as we go back over here, I mean, obviously this is one of those little really outlier sort of events that is going to create a lot of volume, a lot of activity, and a lot of movement. But the way things have been moving over the last few weeks, traveling inside of this range of resistance, acting as temporary support at different times, this level right here is from the January 18th. There was a January 18th high. It printed that high, and you can see how price is sort of oscillating right around that level. It continues to do so. I don't know when I'm going to get more opportunities to trade this. I like trading breakouts on the yen crosses. I just haven't got too many of them over the past few weeks, and you can clearly see with this kind of consolidation, it doesn't look like I'm going to have any tomorrow. However, there is going to be one day where price eventually breaks out of that range. Sometimes it'll happen during the New York session, so I want to be prepared for that. I'm going to continue to watch it. I will eventually get breakouts, and I'll be able to go back to trading the euro yen and the pound yen on these breakouts. But for the time being, I'm just kind of leaving this one alone and just looking for other opportunities. So I'm going to go quickly here to the pound dollar. Pound dollar was an interesting trade today. Last week, if you remember watching the update videos, I was talking about, I'll go ahead and open this up here in just a moment, but I want to bring to your attention the levels that I was talking about as far as resistance and support. And you can see for the last week and a half, that's where price was bouncing around. So this high right here is the March 27th high. I talk about that quite a bit over the last few months. You can see that when it hit that high and printed that on March 27th, it created a resistance level, and for about a week it stayed there, and then it dropped, created a new low, and at different points in time, this March 27th high has created some resistance and in some cases some support. And then last week, that's what was creating the support range for us that we were trading off of last week. And then this high right here is the April 14th high. That's April 14th, and then it tested it again April 30th. So it solidified that area of resistance. Now I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And you can see exactly what we were trading in last week, including today. This is Monday's candle. So it's trading inside of that range, and today it just broke out and above that level. It didn't take out the high from this uptrend. This was the July 9th high, and then things sort of created that new range of consolidation right here with that candle. You can see how that one acted. That was the the July 14th low. These are daily bars, by the way. And then so today's candle closed just above that April 14th high. Whether or not that actually is an indicator that it's likely to continue, I would expect some more follow through. But sometimes we see some of these moves like this where it's a sort of a blow-off move. It just kind of pushes right through a high, looks like it's going to keep going. The next candle never really takes out the high by too much, and then it reverses and comes right back down. As I mentioned with the euro dollar, I've got to be prepared for the possibility that even if this is a bullish move and a bullish candle and price continues higher, it's possible that Tuesday's candle could be some kind of a bearish retracement back down to maybe, let's say, approximately the 5-day moving average, and then it'll bounce back up again maybe later in the week. That's one possibility. I don't know how it's going to trade, so I'm going to have to watch this one closely. It is sitting right at the highs, so I could see that this one would push right through and maybe trigger some kind of an alert. I don't know that I'm going to jump in the minute it takes out Monday's high. In some cases, that's a good trade. It's a good setup. But it is sitting here in this little interesting area of resistance, so I want to be careful with this one. Again, just to bring to your attention, we're still in this range, in this consolidation range that still concerns me. I see the volume. Looks nice. I would expect more. Hopefully we'll get some more movement out of it to the upside, but I'll keep watching it. Again, I would prefer to trade and execute during the London and the New York session just because the fact that there's going to be more participation, usually more volume, and the moves are going to be a little more consistent, a little more fluid from the time I get into the trade to the time I get out of the trade. So I expect this week to be a pretty decent week. I will tomorrow review, and we'll take a look at the bigger picture on the dollar Canadian and the Australian dollar pair as well. Those are two other currency pairs that I'm also trading. I don't trade them as often, obviously, as I do, let's say, the euro dollar or the pound dollar. But I do keep an eye on them. So I'm going to be watching. I think this is going to be a pretty interesting week. I don't know so much that we're going to see a lot of breakouts. I'd like to, but there's, a lot of nervousness, I guess I would put it. You can see it, and we're sitting at some really interesting levels. There's a lot of people out there speculating about what they think is going to happen next, and it's not so much that I'm paying attention to them or that we should be paying attention. I mean, maybe it'll draw our attention to certain things that we're not looking at, but we want to see how some of these policies and some of these things play out that could affect the market in one way or the other. Last week we had ECB, so that was an interesting development. Not that it was anything different than what I think most people expected, but I just don't see anything this week that would really cause big breakouts or opportunities, but I could be wrong, and something could drop. There could be some kind of an announcement, some kind of update, some kind of a sigh of relief. The market reacts to it, and then we get some breakout moves. So I'll be looking out for those for the rest of this week. If we don't get them this week, obviously we're getting one step closer to a breakout. Obviously, when we see consolidation, that's what the markets do, right? We get trending moves, and then we get consolidation, and then we get trending moves, and we get consolidation. And here we are sitting here waiting for the next opportunity. It's just a matter of waiting for it and being careful in the meantime. So I'll send out the next update at approximately this time tomorrow.